It's me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot, and we're about to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us from the outside world. So our interactions with people and our environment, the things we're trying to manifest, when we're having difficulties, when we're having struggles, when we're having strife, and we're blaming people outside of ourselves, we want to use that opportunity of struggle and strife to figure out where inside we need to shift to align with what it is we desire. Because you truly do have to make changes inside of yourself if you want to see improvements in your life. All right, let us begin. We're going to start with Divine Feminine today because she had all but one card showing and Divine Masculine had only one card showing. So they were like opposite today. I hope they're not opposite in the reading. I'd love to see some union. Okay. Top of the deck. Forefront of the mind for Divine Feminine. It's time to party. Three of Cups. And this isn't the Three of Cups with a third party energy. I don't think so. Not when I look at the rest of the spread. Or actually, maybe. I guess we could go either way on this. This could be she's ready to party and celebrate. There could be two. There could be a division in the collective. She could be ready and actually celebrating, or be ready to celebrate and be kind of having fun and just sort of like taking things kind of lightly. And she could be worried about third party energy. I hate this. For those of you that are worried about third party energy, I hate this. But it could be that there's a fear or a worry about a block or a worry about outside interfering energy, because the niggling thing in the back of the mind is the Knight of Wands. But see, okay. I'm going to make a decision today. I'm not going to read this as if this were third-party energy. I'm going to read this the way that I saw it when I first looked at it. I first saw someone really excited and passionate and swept off their feet that's really wanting to celebrate and be excited. And the thing about the Knight of Wands is when it's in its reverse, we are seeing aspects of inconsistency, etc. It's an energy that we're not fond of. But it's not in reverse today. It's upright. It's underlying everything, and I just feel like there's a knight here, like a passionate knight of wands, who has done some sweeping off of feet. And Divine Feminine is feeling like this happiness, this celebration, this lightness, and is looking forward. And the thing is, I don't want to read the other reading today in the collective because I want Divine Feminines to stop thinking about third-party energy and Knight of Wands in shadow. Both of these cards came out in light today. They didn't come out in reverse. But I know that there are feminines in the collective that are experiencing this energy. And I want to embrace that the Divine Feminine has two stories. She can focus on the story where she's worried about third-party blockages. She's worried about Divine Masculine being inconsistent. She's worried about him not showing up and not doing what he says he's going to do. She can worry about that. She can tell that story. Or she can tell the story that I'm going to tell today, which is the other side of the coin, which is also true. That she has good friendships here, that she has the cause for celebration, that she has that she can be more light, have a lightness of heart, that she can take things less seriously and less personally, that she can allow herself to be swept off her feet into a new romance, that she can be excited about changes, sweeping changes that are happening. And that she can communicate and express just spontaneously whenever the mood strikes her without having to constantly check for external validation. You could tell either one of those stories. I'm gonna tell the light story today because those cards came out upright. But if you're experiencing the other side of the story, I strongly, good morning, encourage you to stop telling the story. Okay, the first thing on Divine Feminine's mind is the Four of Pentacles. It is upright. I feel here, it's interesting. I feel like there's a solid foundation. But I feel like there's an attachment, but it feels like a decision. It just feels like a decision. Because the next thing that is coming up is the Two of Pentacles. So it's like a decision has been made about either how this Divine Feminine is going to maintain this foundation that she's been building, or maybe she's made a decision about how solid it is. She might be thinking about how this back and forth energy, this balancing, the reciprocity in the connection, she's still attached to seeing like what she's putting in coming back to her. She also could still be attached to a dance she's been doing, a juggling act. There could be some Divine Feminines who themselves have a third party, and the Divine Feminine energy is juggling that energy. That could be true for some. Not for me. I got no parties up in here. There's not first parties or second parties. It's just this guy right here. But for all y'all who are having a nice time, good, you follow through on your sexual energy. Okay. So some of us maybe have entered into another relationship and we're celebrating it. We're feeling excited. Some of us might be experiencing the close or imminent arrival of a twin or a soulmate, or there's anticipation here. There's a lot of light. And then there are some who are still focused on Divine Masculine doing this. So there has been some kind of a choice made, though, about that foundation. Because it has been there's been a lot of struggle. And this Five of Wands energy is coming up, which feels like a block to me. Like Divine Feminine is thinking, and this is in her headspace, so this is what she's thinking about. She's thinking about her attachments. She's thinking about this juggling act. She's thinking about how she's sort of in this struggle. And it's like a stuck feeling. And then the next thing that is coming up is the King of Pentacles, which is a specific iteration of a Divine Masculine energy. And this is what is clarifying the Four of Pentacles. This is what she's attached to. This is why I'm saying I see that there is a decision that has been made. I believe for some, the decision has been to release attachment to a specific iteration, to move on from this specific iteration because you feel stuck or blocked and like nothing's gonna happen. For others, it's choosing to stick to a specific iteration. I don't know how I feel about that. But that's been my choice. So some of us have chose to stick to a specific iteration. But remember, the overall feeling is Three of Cups, which is, celebration. So whatever decision we've made, whether it's to walk away or to stick to, like glue, this King of Pentacles, it still applies. The next card up is the Chariot in reverse, and this is clarifying the Two of Pentacles upright. So the forward motion is being halted. The reins are being pulled back a little bit. There's a pulling back of the reins, and we are we're seeing that Divine Feminine is thinking that she really needs to probably surrender. She's feeling like out of control. This is it. There's like a feeling that she's not quite in control of this back and forth that happens, and that slows this momentum down for her. The lack of control she feels. She also really wants to be able to just not take this personally, the back and forth. She wants to be able to kind of like have it sort of not affect her at all. It's like, if it's happening, great. If it's not happening, great. Because all these wonderful things are happening in my life, and whatever this thing is that I want, that I'm experiencing this like push-pull thing for, it's not that vital to my happiness. Because my happiness doesn't come from getting that thing. My happiness comes from just me within. And happiness in quotes, because you're not supposed to always be happy. Do you read only happy books? Like, do you pick movies that are only happy? And music, Good Morning, that's only happy? I mean, most of us, we don't do that. We don't pick things that are only happy. We pick stories that have shadow and light in them. We pick things that talk about villains and heroes. And you can't have a superhero story with no villain. So we're not meant to be happy all the time. This isn't like a toxic positivity thing where it's like, your happiness is within and you're always happy. No, it's that you don't associate the physical manifestation of something with your happiness. Because if you do, here's what's going to happen. These 3 cards are the things that make me happy. Oh, now I can't be happy anymore because I don't have the things that I thought made me happy. But those things are impermanent. They are not going to stay. This is paper, some kind of weird coated plastic. It probably would burn eventually and smell weird. And it would be gone. And all your happiness would go up in flames with it. You're never meant. That's like people miss. We have these associations with some of these Bible passages, like the Bible passage where Jesus says that rich men can't go to heaven because they're wherever your riches are, that's where your heart lies, or whatever. But it's so misinterpreted, because it doesn't mean that if you're rich you can't go to heaven. It means that if you're rich and the thing that makes you happy is all of the things you've acquired, then you'll never be in heaven, because heaven is a state of mind that you ascend to into consciousness, and it's this knowing that everything is connected and none of the material really matters, and what makes you happy is the experience of being allowed to play with the material and have fun and create and be godlike, because you're built in God's image. Like, that's the whole thing. But anyway, I digress. So it's like you can't put your happiness in someone else anyway. So this Divine Feminine is feeling this 3 of Cups energy, this celebration energy, kind of knowing this. It's like, listen, with or without you, like, I'm going to be okay. This is how she's feeling. And those that have chosen to like stick to a specific iteration and just hold on, that Chariot in reverse is like needing to hold on, because it's like a bumpy ride and there's fear, there's a resistance there to what this is really going to be like and how long it might take. The last thing on her mind is the Hermit in reverse. So this 5 of Wands, there is a resistance here to looking at the block. Yes, this is about being stuck to Divine Masculine, but why are you stuck to Divine Masculine though? Well, because you think He's gonna make you happy. But we just had that conversation. You have to be happy alone. And then the divine masculine shows up and you're like, oh, cool. I'm serious. It's just kind of got to be like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that tracks, right? So divine feminine does have to work on this. She has to work on the attachment. But it's, and please don't kill me. I'm just the messenger. But it's the tiniest bit of work left in regards to this. So this, to me, this is like, whoop, oh, we fixed it. What'd we do? We went into hermit energy. We soul searched into that block. Why we're stuck to this one specific iteration. Why are we stuck to that iteration? And we got comfortable with being alone. We didn't resist being alone. We let being alone maybe even be what we wanted for a minute. Because if we really, really, really do the work and look at the block exists to protect us from something that we want. And you're like, well, that don't make no sense. And it doesn't really. But that is how we work. It makes perfect sense that if you have a belief about something, for instance, what I just said, musicians are poor. Okay. If my subconscious persistently believes that, and if I perpetuate that, then I will make poor decisions about money. Because I'm a musician, and I just told you about them. What did I tell you about them? We're poor. But you know what? I'm not poor at all, even a little. I used to be. I was homeless before. I've had very, 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 very hard times. Not as hard as some and harder than others. But right now, for me to be like, musicians are poor and me to be included in that category doesn't even make any sense. So now I have a disconnect with my subconscious. My conscious mind is like, are you fucking serious? You're poor right now? You've got $17 coffee beans in your coffee. Like, could you imagine the look on your own mother's face if she looked at your coffee and was like, oh, this smells good. How much was that? And I said, oh, it was $17.99 for that little bag of coffee. She would shit a dick. But look how persistent those subconscious beliefs are. So there is something, and it's probably just like what I'm describing. What I just described right now. For years, I believed musicians are poor. So poor that I was homeless. So poor that I had to like eat potatoes and nothing else. Like that kind of stuff. Right? That was true for me. But slowly I started to unravel that and that became less true. Now I'm not poor anymore. But I just stated that again because there's still a little bit of stuff stuck in there that I have to get out in order to become unblocked, to be able to see this divine masculine, provider, protector, the stability, the abundance. This Four of Pentacles plus this King of Pentacles, this is my financial stability. This is my financial security. And it's not coming from a divine masculine. I'm talking about my own energy right now. It's here in my headspace. I'm aware of it, but I'm talking about being poor. What's that? That's the Chariot in reverse. This is the work that you have to do. When people say, do the work or you better work, this is the work that you have to do. If you're not willing to do what I just did, which I do in front of everybody every day, where I'm like, oh, want to see all the weird fucked up shit about me and how it applies to this reading? But I don't mind because I'm a Pisces rising and a Leo sun and a Leo moon. So I'm like, fuck you. I can feel how I feel and have all these experiences, right? Whatever. But that is what you have to be willing to do. If you are not willing to do this, if you're not willing to get in there and be like, okay, well, I just said all musicians were poor. Why? Why did I say that when that's not even true? What? Do I still believe that? I must. I better go in and just redirect and realign with the idea that that is something that I learned growing up that is not actually true. It's like being a person of color and learning that when you were younger, the stereotypes that were perpetuated against you by the oppressing class that's above you, Then you learn all those things about yourself. So you internalize supremacy. So now you have those things inside of you. They didn't come from you. And now you not only do you have to convince the rest of the world that that's not true, you have to convince yourself. It's the worst. But it can be done, but you have to do it. You have to go and you have to be really uncomfortable. You have to look at this 5 of Wands and understand that that's your 5 of Wands. No one's doing that to you. You learned this somewhere. Someone did something, said something, you saw something at some point in time, but now you're carrying this with you every day and you have to unblock it. You have to find people who look like you, who can do the things that you want to do, and you have to use them to expand you. If you're in a situation where there isn't someone who looks like you, who does the things that you want to do, you have to find someone that's as close as possible. Pioneers are people who can imagine something and just the idea of it is enough for them to shift their belief. The existence of it at all allows them to shift into the reality where it's possible. That's very difficult energy. That's the struggle most people have when they have very oppressive characteristics, or they were oppressed for their characteristics rather. So when people talk about privilege, that's what they're talking about. All the time people go, well, I was poor and I don't have privilege, and no, that's not what it means. It's not about whether you were poor or rich. Those things were probably correlational to your privilege, but you can still experience poverty and still have a lot of privilege. That's another conversation that is exhausting for the world. Oops, I wasn't supposed to flip those over yet, and I'm gonna flip them back. All right. We gotta do the heart space, Divine Feminine. Top of the deck, overall heart space for her, Ace of Swords. This is clarity. This is desire to have a lot of honesty and look very, very deeply and cut through. And it's about new ideas and visions of the future. And this is what she's excited about. She's either getting clarity about her future and feeling excited about it, or she's getting clarity about what has been happening and realizing what needs to happen, kind of a thing. The niggling feeling in the heart space is the 4 of Cups in reverse. So this is a card about contemplation and meditation and nature, grounding in nature. It's about being connected to the divine. It's about focusing on the not focusing on the spilled cups, but focusing on the 3 cups that are in front of you. And there's this 1 cup you're not offering, or you're not taking from the divine. But what's interesting is in this image, there are 2 cups here and 2 cups here. So this is from the Prisma Visions deck. By the way, the deck that I was just using is called the Small Spells Tarot by Rachel Howe, which is an interesting, really abstracted deck that I like. And now we're looking at a 4 of Cups energy where it's almost got a 5 of Cups feeling, where there's 2 cups behind the person and they're either being optimistic about them or they're not aware of them. But in this case, we're seeing a reversal on this energy. So for me, this 2 cups here, it's like a physical grounding of the physical union. The 2 of Cups, which is coming together, breaking bread. So the niggling feeling in Divine Feminine's heart space is she's about to ground her desire. This 4 of Pentacles is clarified by the Hanged Man. Oh my God. The next card. Divine Feminine has gone within and she's gotten this clarity that we saw in the heart space. I'm going to be back up on YouTube because the Instagram thing, I have to touch the freaking screen because the camera goes, the screen dims. So the Hanged Man is where we surrender and we gain perspective from the divine. It's we're paused because we have to take a minute and reflect. In the heart space, we're seeing that she has gained perspective about her material attachments, about her foundation. Like what I just said, when I took a step back from my statement about musicians being poorer and realized that I have actually gained perspective that have taught me that that's not actually true. It's like that kind of thing. Surrendering to the divine and allowing the divine to show you. Then we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, clarifying the Two of Pentacles upright. So we see Divine Feminine in the headspace. There's a decision that needs to be made, or the decision that has been made. And in the heart space, there's a fear of making this choice. So that's why she's gone into the Hanged Man. She's gone in the Hanged Man to try to decide, is this King of Pentacles that I'm attached to, or this thing that I want, this car, this house, this place I want to move, this career, whatever it is this thing really the right choice for me? Because this Five of Wands, this blockage, it's being clarified by this Six of Pentacles in reverse. Because I'm not seeing reciprocity yet, right? I still only see a pale reflection of what I'm putting in. Or, I think about I get a lot from my DM, but he sees me every single day. He can hear everything that's going on in my life. He visually gets to see me. It's almost like he gets to have a conversation with me. And I don't hear even his voice unless it's singing. So it's not balanced. Even though you might be receiving, it's not balanced. And this is the thing that she's got to soul search. This is the thing that she's got to figure out. It's okay, it's still not reciprocal yet. And then we're seeing the Six of Pentacles in reverse, which is a card about reunion, and it's about bliss and nostalgia and everything. And it's clarifying this King of Pentacles upright, and it's about releasing past energy. So there's Divine Feminines here who are afraid to release this specific energy. They're still afraid to release the one. I raised my hand when I said that there are some feminines in the collective that are sticking to this one iteration. And this is because there's a deep fear here, even though there's an awareness that this is not a reciprocal relationship, not entirely reciprocal. She's still afraid to let it go. But this Three of Wands is here clarifying the Chariot in reverse. Because there's no movement, because there's no motion, this is what causes her to be afraid. Because we don't really see where this Chariot is going. We can't really feel it moving, It's like she's afraid that maybe she should release this energy. Maybe I'm too attached to him. Maybe I'm celebrating and I really want to be so excited about this, but fuck, maybe if I release him, then I can finally be in union with someone. And maybe I'm holding on and I'm just going to be stuck like this forever, right? But her heart is really urging this patience. She's feeling that she can see the places, the pieces coming into place. And she's drawing her faith and her trust from the divine. She's drawing all of her nourishment from the divine in order to withstand this halt of the Chariot. She's just trying to be patient. And she's focusing, and I love this, in Nine of Wands energy. Now the Hermit and Nine of Wands are both cards about isolation. This is resisting isolation, and this is embracing it and understanding that it is the space that you need to heal. You have fought battles with the Five of Wands. You've had a lot of struggle. You have put more in than you've received. Excuse me. And you've done that because you have these deep wounds still, like the ones I just said, like wounds, beliefs, something that still require healing. And you're feeling a lot of resistance to me when I tell you that, because you're like, how much fucking healing do I have to do? And I gotta tell you, babe, I don't know. But do you want to be with the person who you want to be with for the rest of your life and not be healed and then wound them more? Or do you want to go get the thing that you want and then, fumble it because you still believe you can't keep it? All right, Divine Masculine. The first thing on your mind has moved into the forefront of your mind. So yesterday, the first thing on your mind was the 10 of Swords. And now that has become the forefront of your mind. And you are just really wanting to end this separation. It's feeling really, it's a really painful feeling. And you feel pinned down still. And you really want to you want to be free to move. You feel like a butterfly that has transformed and then been pinned down. I feel some frustration here. I definitely feel an aching feeling, and concern. The niggling thing in the back of the mind is this Page of Pentacles energy. And you're feeling like a bit childish. This is like I'm a loser type of energy. It's like I have only a very small offer to make. You're assessing the offer that you have right now, and you know that it's you're still pinned down in this separation, so your worthiness is shaken right now because you have to end this, and yet it feels like it's not, like you still can't move. The first thing on your mind is this Two of Wands, which is for those of us that are into the twin flame sort of idea that there's a soul that's two separate halves of the soul, and they journeys together, and you trigger each other into expansion or whatever. I do think that this Divine Masculine, it's the first thing on his mind is thinking about this journey. It's thinking about what he's asked for, and he's thinking about how difficult this has been for Divine Feminine energy. She's really put up with a lot. His own inner feminine too, waiting for him to end the separation between the masculine and feminine sides of self, so that finally he can express the feelings he has. So this journey is taking its toll, and he's uncertain about what's going to happen because there is still a battle here. There's the Five of Swords, which in the Housewives Tarot, we're seeing, it looks like there's like a divine feminine energy that's being cut down to size. And he's feeling defeated. I think he also feels divine feminine energy is defeated by the battle that it has been to try to come into union. And he's really been fighting, and we're progressing from the Five of Swords energy into the Six of Swords, which is, just frustrated. My ego is frustrated by this reading. The Six of Swords it's a good card. It's a card about learning your lessons. It's a card about you know, using the struggle and the strife that you've experienced in this Five of Swords energy as the clarity that you need, as the knowledge that you need to be able to move from where you were to where you want to be. So it's this energy that's like the pain and the suffering that is here. This has built a bridge so that you will be able to go to the next point. That's typically what this means. But here's what I see. I see Divine Masculine is stuck with this Ten of Swords. He's stuck in the separation and he feels like it's difficult to end it. Underlying everything is this feeling of unworthiness because he's not able to end it. He feels like it's really taking its toll on Divine Feminine. That ultimately it's going to defeat her and she's going to move away. She's going to transition away from him and move on, and leave him. And here's the Star in reverse. He wants to be able to reveal this Divine Feminine and allow this healing to take place in the heart space, because the Divine Feminine and Star energy is this healing energy. It's hope. So he's really trying to remain hopeful. It's difficult because he doesn't know the end of this journey. He doesn't know what's going to happen, but he is trying to stay hopeful, even though it's difficult, even though he can't see, like it's not fully illuminated yet what will happen. But he's afraid that Divine Feminine is going to move on because he's not able to reveal her. He's not able yet to reveal her. So he definitely is thinking a lot about this. The next thing on his mind is this Page of Wands energy, which is again another immature energy, but this one is about being excited. And what's interesting is that it's clarifying this defeat card. So it's like, I think the Page of Wands is also about like burgeoning sexual energy. And I think Divine Masculine is afraid that Divine Feminine is going to get tired of waiting for him, that she's going to he's going to lose her, I guess, because she's going to move on, or that she's going to hide from him, that she's having third party energy. Because here's the Three of Cups in reverse, and we saw the Three of Cups upright for her. So when he sees Divine Feminine having a good time, having fun with her friends, being out, you know, getting out into the world, which we can start doing a little bit at a time now and stuff, he's really afraid that there's another, like an immature suitor or some other person or a new relationship or someone that's going to be able to cause her to move on. So this is what he's thinking a lot about. Because he's pinned down, because he can't move, and because he feels like a loser and unworthy, he's concerned that there's going to be this new romance or a new thing or a new idea that's going to captivate her and then, you know, destroy the celebration or prevent them from reuniting. The first thing in his heart space, or the top of the deck for his heart space, is the Eight of Swords in reverse, which we saw yesterday as the last thing in the heart space. He's also overfeeling today. He has an extra card in here. So Divine Masculine is this is the Divine Feminine protecting herself here too. Divine Masculine has been protecting his feelings. He's been protecting his heart. And he's not doing that anymore. He's no longer doing that. He's releasing this energy where he's trying to protect himself from what he wants. The heart space is firmly centered in that feeling of releasing the saboteur. picture of my son is falling down here. The niggling feeling in his heart space we saw yesterday as well is this Six of Pentacles upright, which we already saw the Six of Pentacles over here for Divine Feminine in reverse. Excuse me. So we have mirroring going on. And for Divine Masculine, we see him, the underlying feeling he has is to be benevolent, to be generous, and to be able to give as much as he has been receiving. This is his deepest desire. He's longing for this. And it's the shadow because he's not been able to give this. This Two of Wands card, which is an uncomfortable card because it's about asking for something and then not knowing when it's coming. The Three of Wands that we saw for Divine Feminine is about pieces falling into place, knowing that everything's coming together. I forgot to shut my window today, so it's really loud. And being patient. But the Two of Wands is much more uncomfortable because there's a lot of uncertainty. And this is being clarified by the moon. So there's two things going on here. Number one, it's the heart space having fear and anxiety about the end of the journey, about what's going to happen on the journey. It's an awareness that there is a cosmic element involved in this desire or in coming together into union with the Divine Feminine energy. Good morning, Tim. And it's, how do I get that to go away? I don't know. It's about that cosmic connection between those two aspects of self, which translate into the material. And it's about shadow work and subconscious work that has to be done in order to receive the things that we've asked for. The moon is also a significant card for these two. Okay, I like this. Now we're getting the Three of Swords in reverse, and it's clarifying the Five of Swords. So we're getting a Divine Masculine who is indeed healing the heart space. He has experienced heartbreak. He caused heartbreak by this defeated energy he sensed coming from Divine Feminine, who is just like, you know what, bro? I love you, I do, but this is exhausting and I got to keep it pushing. So that really caused him a lot of heartbreak, and he understood and was aware that he caused this heartbreak, that he's like taken accountability for this. The defeat belongs to him. And then what do we have? But the Two of Swords. I'm sorry, the Two of Wands again, clarifying the Six of Swords, which is why I said swords. The Two of Wands, but now it's upright. No, it was upright again before. So it's in union. It's still in union. It's having asked and being uncertain about what's going to happen. And it's also about this awareness in the heart space that these are the lessons that must be learned. Divine Masculine must release his fear of Divine Feminine leaving him. He has abandonment issues, and he has trust issues, just like Divine Feminine, about whether or not there would be a third party energy. It bothers him just as much as it bothers Divine Feminine. So Divine Masculine has to go within and do that work to discover his blocks, just like Divine Feminine, and work through them. But Divine Masculine has just kind of been sitting here in this Two of Wands energy. There's not been this progression to the Three of Wands, and so here's what happens when that happens. The Tower, honey. The Divine is intervening now. It's like you didn't move, you didn't make a choice, you sat there looking at your hands, you were uncertain about it, you kept worrying about it instead of letting it go and letting God. You just kept trying to control it with all your fear. And so it had to come down. So the Tower is in regards to the star energy. Divine Masculine is experiencing this shakeup. He's experiencing this lightning strike. It's like, I saw lightning, and in the light that came from that experience, what I saw is I did this to myself. I do this to myself. I pin myself down. I battle myself. I defeat myself. I hide myself. But this is wonderful because now he's not confused anymore. Here's the Seven of Cups. He's no longer, you know, looking at all these options and having put all these things in his cup and being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want. I don't know. He knows. He has a new concept of self. He's not confused. He's also not confused about what caused the Tower. Myself. Page of Wands. Immature. Like, you know, hey, good morning, Julie. Just being really too immature and not handling the situation well. That is what caused the Tower. And he's not confused about it. He knows. And then this is the overfeeling. We've got the Three of Cups in reverse, clarified by the Sun in reverse and the Queen of Swords upright. So Divine Masculines, what is he not confused about? Well, he's not confused about him having caused issues. He's feeling his own happiness is blocked by his fear that Divine Feminine will cut him out and literally cut him out. There's what the Queen of Swords does, right? That she will cut him out of her life, carve him right out of her life, and move on. And the Six of Swords energy. That his happiness is what? Dependent upon this Queen of Swords being understanding, discerning, etc. But what do we know? What did I just say when I was doing Divine Feminine's reading? And I was like, oh, if this card is the thing that makes you happy, and I burn it up, poof, oh, your happiness is all gone now, isn't it? You don't have any more happiness because you put it in this card, and I burned it. And this is something that I can take away from you. I can steal it, I can hide it, I can destroy it. That's not true happiness then. That's your ego's idea of happiness. And your ego is wrong. So Divine Masculine's work is the same as Divine Feminine's work. Are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. Why? Because this is the fucking twin flame journey. Because we are reflections of each other. The work that Divine Masculine must do is he must not put his happiness in the hands of the Queen of Swords. He must also stop overthinking, and he must be more strategic about how he handles his happiness. All right, let's look at the oracles. For the sexual energy for the union, I'm using the Sluttist Tarot. It's pretty great. I don't know where the box is. Oh, here it is. Oh. It's a good one. We love. And sexual energy does not have to be just sexy times. It can be creative energy. We're going to start with Divine Feminine. And we already saw this card. In her heart space, the niggling feeling is the Four of Cups. And her sexual energy right now is the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups it's a meditative, contemplative, reflective sort of an energy. But it's grounding and it's in nature. And so there is kind of like a primal sort of thing about the Four of Cups energy. It's like wanting to come out of the fantasy and coming into reality. That's what her heart space wants. But currently, Divine Feminine's on her own in her fantasy world right now. Her sexy energy is probably solo sexual energy. But it's probably pretty good because the imagination is pretty good. And she might be thinking about it a lot. Like a lot. The archetype that she's in, the trucks are so loud. Hang on 1 second because I'm going to close the window to make it better. Not a vast improvement, but we'll take it. All right, so she is in the light attributes of father energy, which is a talent for creating and supporting life and a positive guiding light within a tribal unit. So she is no more in these having issues with dictatorial control and abuse of authority. So she's not trying to be, she's not like afraid and trying to control everything constantly. And she's embodying actually the healed divine masculine energy inside of herself. So if she had issues with father energy, it's like she has done the work, she's parented herself in this way and provided her own guiding light within her own self. Saint Dymphna is here, and there's another guiding light there for you to support you in regards to your emotions. So you might be having a lot of emotions right now. There are some that are really celebratory, really excited, really passionate, and that can feel overwhelming. And she's here to support you through those feelings. She's also here to remind you that your feelings and your emotions, those are just a way of guiding you towards where you need to go, whether that is you're feeling sad and you're far away from where you want to be, or you're feeling happy and excited and you're closer. She's really helping to reinforce this lesson. We love good luck. This is like the Wheel of Fortune energy. And this cat here, they're very independent. They're curious creatures. They always land on their feet. They are insightful. They're intuitive, instinctive. So there's a really good energy right now. It's like, also, this bitch has got a crown on too. This bitch is a queen. Like, so this is High Priestess energy combined with Wheel of Fortune energy. This is a really, really good time for you in this moment. And then we have this card. Hold your vision right now. Hold the vision of what it is that you desire. That's why when I started the reading and I said, you know what, I could read third-party energy into this card if I wanted to, but I'm not going to tell that story, because I'm going to tell the story of the vision. I'm going to talk about what Divine Feminine wants, not what Divine Feminine doesn't want. Talk about what you want and hold your vision, which means you have to know what your vision is. If you don't have clarity about your vision, how you going to hold it though? How you going to hold it though? You got to write it down. You got to put it somewhere. You got to have something to remind you, because you're going to forget. You're going to forget. You're going to forget. So you have to write it down and you have to check it. And you're going to get tests. You're going to get tests. And if you have a checklist, you can, it's so easy. You can be like, okay, this person just showed up. Let's check my checklist. This. Ooh. Nope, not a match. All right, not going to invest energy here. It's very helpful. Hold your vision, but make sure you know what that vision is very clearly. Nothing is yet set in stone. So don't get too comfortable. That's the message I'm getting from that. You don't know what's going to happen because of free will. Nothing is ever set in stone. So do not get too comfortable, but enjoy where you are. Share your voice. So you might be holding back because you're afraid of persecution or ridicule, but you need to just express. You need to come out of the cave. Don't be afraid. Just share your voice and trust the niggling feeling, which is this Four of Cups. You feel like something is coming to ground. You feel like a fantasy or a dream or a desire that you have is fast approaching. This is fast approaching energy. And you need to trust that niggling feeling. And then we got this card already yesterday. Spirit has a plan, which is why you can trust right now. This is very profound to me. I literally just posted that I was going to trust the special plan yesterday. I trust in this plan. Divine Feminine, let's just read that message because I think we got the protection message and this is the actual oracle message this time. Why does it take a full fucking hour to empty those goddamn trucks across the street? I can't with it. Koala Spirit. Spirit has a plan. In nature, the koala moves slowly through the branches of the eucalyptus tree, leisurely chewing the leaves, reminding us that life is not a race or competition. Koala Spirit took a dive. Chasing around after every distraction can keep us from recognizing that we have all we need and that Spirit will always be there with gifts to sustain us. You are being asked to trust that by moving slowly with faith in the abundance that is everywhere, surrendering to a power greater than yourself, you will be able to experience the manifestation of your desire. As you take your time enjoying the riches available to you right now, sitting peacefully, you begin to radiate. I lost my place. Radiate the joy and abundance you seek. Spirit is here to help you discover happiness, pleasure, and contentment. All gifts that are yours now and in the future. Have faith and trust in Spirit's plan for you, and know that you are loved and cherished. Lovely. Let's look at Divine Masculine's energy for his oracles. This deck, though, I can't. Okay. Sexual energy for Divine Masculine is Judgment, honey. Look at that angel, though. She's a cheeky angel. Judgment. So this is a Divine Masculine who's seeking forgiveness and absolution. If we're looking at sexual energy in terms of judgment, I think we're looking at wanting to make it up to someone, if you know what I'm saying. We'll leave it at that. All right, that looks good for Divine Feminine, though. If anything happens today, that looks pretty good. Okay. Divine Masculine, right now you are in the shadow attributes of the nature child, which is a tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. So I bet this is more in regards to self, because if we're seeing this Judgment card coming up and then we're seeing this a tendency to abuse, it could be that you might have a tendency to be a bit hard on yourself. If we're doing that, that's probably coming out as judgment towards other people. And you might actually be right now, because of the friction you're experiencing inside, this push-pull between feminine and masculine energy, you might be taking this out on others. You might be, you feel frustrated because you feel stuck in separation. And so there might be a tendency to be lashing out right now. And you need to come into the light. I also think you might be lacking just some, you need to be more connected to nature in some way. Oh, and you know what it is? You know what? You got the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands in your reading, and you are judging yourself as being immature. You are judging your childlike nature, because look at the next card. Child. So you need to forgive yourself. If you can't forgive yourself for being a human, because humans act childish, we do, and we're actually strongly encouraged to by the divine. If you don't make mistakes the way children do, how will you learn? If you just keep doing the same things that you're supposed to do, there's no innovation. It's not going to be an expansive system if there's no innovation. If there's no mistakes, there's no discoveries. If there's no discoveries, there's nothing new. If there's nothing new, it dies, right? So there's a resistance in you to your childish nature. And there's a fear here about it, that you're too childish to be able to do what you need to do. While you do need to have emotional mastery, you need to be like a child for all the reasons I just said. And because only children have that innocence, which allows them to be pure enough to release any of the programming that they received when they were little, right? So you have to return to your childlike state, that innocent state, in order to learn new pathways. So your guardian angel is here to support you, not only in embracing that you are allowed to make mistakes, but in helping you with the emotional mastery to mature, to be able to have less judgment towards yourself in this regard. I just saw 855. You're getting this courage or strength card, which came up yesterday for a divine masculine that I was reading when I was at my dinner party, which was fun. And the energy here right now is that you have and you need courage to be able to follow through, because divine masculine, you are not stuck. You are not pinned down. There is no one stopping you. There is no one blocking you. You can go get the evidence for me. You can take me to court and present it to me in front of a jury of your peers to show me this person, thing, entity that's blocking you, but it's not. There's nothing outside of you that is blocking you. It is an illusion. As soon as you stop thinking of yourself as being blocked or pinned down, as soon as you do the work that it takes to go within and figure out what it is that you're afraid of, that obstacle will dissolve like magic, because it is magic. That's what magic is. Magic is, oh, I stopped focusing on it. Now it doesn't exist. Divine masculine, this card came out for the union yesterday. It's here for you today. Conclusions are within your reach. And remember what I say about this card. My phone is within my reach. If I want to go play the piano, I got to get up and walk all the way over there. I got to journey to it. But my phone, I can just grab it. It's just right here. That's how close you are. And when this card comes out with an emphasis, it's like you're really having a hard time believing this. But if you can trust that, this obstacle goes away. In case you forgot, divine masculine, you're from the motherfucking Pleiades, bitch. Can I hear it for the Pleiades? Like, you are definitely from the Pleiades. Like, this always comes out for you. But this is just this reminder of your mission, because you forgot again. It's okay. We forget. We forget about the parting of the Red Sea every single day. But your mission is to channel and uplift humanity. And I check the card every time. I'll check it again, thoroughly looking. Nope, nothing in here about coming into union. It doesn't say anything about that. It just says channeling and uplifting. So that's the mission. The mission isn't sexy times. The mission is do the work. That brings sexy times. And then you're getting this card that your guidance is divinely guided. You just really need to trust both of you. But divine masculine today, for sure, your cards are all in reverse. Like you're resisting. You're having a hard time believing. And then you're getting spider spirit. Make your dreams real. Ooh, I opened right to it. Weaving your dreams into the fabric of life begins with a single thread of intention. And then spirit joins you as your co-weaving partner. Literally what the Two of Wands is. The Two of Wands is that single thread of intention. The Three of Wands is when spirit joins you as your co-weaving partner. That is the best way to describe the progression of the 2 to 3 of Wands. Take but a single step to make your dream a reality. And spirit will take 10 towards you, for the universe is designed to support your dream weaving. That is a beautiful concept that I learned first from my best friend when I was young, who's Muslim. And it's this idea that when you take one step towards God, he takes 10 steps towards you. Spider Spirit arrives when you need reminding of the awesome power of co-creation with Spirit. Ideas and resources will begin to appear as if by magic as you begin to bring your dreams from the realm of intention into the world of the senses where they take form. Didn't I just say that? Didn't I treat you right, girl? The action you need to take is to be clear about your intentions, and then everything I'm saying, I'm like, you better be clear. You better be clear about your intentions if you want to get them. And then act as if you have become the one that lives the life that you desire. So when I walk around town now, I have no shame. Put my sunglasses on, I go to the store, and I'm like, I am a rock star. And probably, I hope nobody recognizes me today because I just want to get my, like, almond milk and leave here. Like, you know? And I don't even feel any shame about it anymore. I'm full on Bono, right, Julie? I'm Bono. I'm just like, this is me now, and that's who I am, and that's who a rock star is. That is who a rock star is, right? So you start to act it. You become the one that lives the life you desire. You act as if already. The web of creation has an uncanny way of coming together to weave the beautiful pattern you set in motion, and it absolutely does. Another message of Spider Spirit is about any creative project you may be considering: writing, painting, music, journaling, gardening, etc. Now is the time when inspiration wants to be channeled through you as something creative, even artistic and tangible. Creative projects are successful now, if you are so inclined. Let yourself be open to abundance. Love that. All right, let's see what the closing cards are for the entire union. Girl, the sexual energy for the union today is death. Death doesn't look so bad on this card. Death looks kind of fun and interesting. But this is total transformation and rebirth. So this is, I mean, what is the orgasm called but the little death? It's like where the union was before, it's now completely transformed. For some, that means it's changed forever and there's new energy. For others, that means the old energy that has passed away is becoming like new again. You are both in the attributes of the hero and heroine, ascending. Look at you both, ascending to this peak together. You have a passion for this journey of personal empowerment. Wow, I love to see that card for you all. Saint Padre Pio is here in this healing energy with you. There was a reversal here, so it's like there has been this deep and profound healing that has taken place. You are right at the peak of this mountain of ascending towards union. Your spirit guides are also here, and there's an emphasis here on the awareness of the eternal connection, and that you must continue to have a strong relationship with your spirit guides and continue to allow them to guide you, and know that they are helping to protect this union and protect you as you are on this journey. Don't let pride get in your way. So the both of you, don't get prickly. Like, just don't take things personally, and don't let pride stand in your way to the point where you can't make those apologies, or you can't accept them, or you can't bring yourself to unblock him on social media or whatever it is. As long as you let pride stand in your way, there will be a block. Dragonfly spirit. Truth transcends illusion. And this is a gorgeous card. It's 22 in the deck. Dragonfly spirit is here to remind you of the wisdom and truth available at all times in the hidden realms. Just as a dragonfly catches your eye with its reflective wings and body, dragonfly spirit appears to tell you to pay attention to the truth beyond the illusion and recognize the insights that come seemingly out of nowhere, peeking through from behind the veil. In the realm of spirit, there is far more wisdom than you can perceive with your senses, and there is a deep knowing that you are not separate or alone, for a higher power recognizes you and loves you beyond measure. Fears dissipate as you realize you are embraced by the nurturing force that is everywhere, always in communication with you. Alighting when you are preoccupied, Dragonfly Spirit offers this message. You exist in unity with all, including the protective spirits who share their wisdom, and you are being nudged along the path your soul needs to travel to have the experience it craves. Love exists in many forms, and sometimes we overlook it when we don't recognize a particular form. Pay attention to the signs now. They remind you that each of us have inspired dreams seamlessly sewn into the fabric of the invisible world, and there is a great consciousness that exists in the seemingly empty spaces, guiding us on our journey. Open to the truth, letting the wisdom of the hidden realms inform you, providing insights your conscious mind overlooks. All right, profound words from Spirit for the two of you. Truth transcends illusion. Let's close out the reading with some Island Time wellness cards for what we can do today to get our energy attuned so we can get the shit we want. All right, thank you so much for being here. Please like it and subscribe it if you're watching this on YouTube, and share it is so helpful to me and gets the message out to those who might need it. However you ended up here, someone else getting a call. So please take the time to just share. And also, I guess on Instagram, you have to save these now or whatever in order to help boost someone's account. So that's another way to help me. You can also click the link in my bio. I do have a Patreon link there if you want to subscribe for additional content, and also access to my music through Pearl and the Prayers, all the good stuff. All right, there we go. 2 cards. Here we go. What do you need to do today? Oh my God, it's another dragonfly. Divine Feminine, Dragonfly. Be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light. Adapt, change, and heal. You got the 3 of Cups overall in your headspace, so continue to be lighthearted. And as you do, those things are coming to light. You will adapt to this change. You're also getting the Sword and the Rose. Clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. So, interesting. Remain lighthearted, and things are going to come to light. You're going to have this clarity that you're seeking. This was really in your heart space. And there's revelation here. So remain really open today to all possibilities. Because if we had any kind of issues in your headspace, it was that 5 of Wands and the King of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles relationship, which was a little sticky to me. It was a little too much about like being stuck to one thing. So don't be stuck. Be open today and allow this revelation to empower you. Divine Masculine, you need to ramp it up a little bit with some seduction hinty. This says attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. And then you're getting heartbroken, deeply sad, hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. Okay, bro. You have to heal the wounds we saw, the 3 of Swords wounds, in regards to the 3 of Cups that you're afraid of. You are afraid of this, right? So you're feeling heartbroken, either about third-party interference that comes from you because you had a third party who's interfering, or you are worried or concerned about third-party interference coming in through Divine Feminine. You're afraid that there's this Page of Wands, this new love or new energy or something you are concerned about, Divine Feminine. So in order for you to work through this energy, you have to deal with the grieving and mourning feelings that you have, that you're afraid to experience. It's like you had an experience of betrayal, most likely, and you didn't let yourself fully experience the grief and mourning from it, so it's just there beneath the surface. And when you focus on a new energy that you want, if you want to be with this Divine Feminine, if you are wanting to start flirting and dating and hooking up and kind of giving into this temptation with a Divine Feminine, or you're worried that she's going to do this, it's like, until you heal those wounds, you're going to project onto her your fears. So even if that's not happening, that's all you're going to be able to see. You have to heal this loss. You have to embrace that truth transcends illusion. And separation itself is an illusion. The bottom of the deck for you all is Healing Heart. Oh, wow. This is good. Healing Heart. Healing from heartbreak. Freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. Endings, new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, transition. There's that Death card again, Coffin again, transformation for this union. And finally, healthy choices, making healthy choices in love and life. So if today you work on healing this heart and transforming, you will begin making these healthy choices, because you will have released the limiting beliefs that are causing you to make choices that make you feel bad. So Divine Masculine, heal the heart. Separation is an illusion. There's no one gonna come and steal your sunshine. That's not gonna happen. Nobody's gonna steal your sunshine. And Divine Feminine, be open, be lighthearted, and embrace these revelations. And as these things come to light, just embrace them. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that was very helpful for you. I will see you here again tomorrow morning. I'll probably do a wild card reading. It does seem that my camera is fixed, so I might be able to head over to YouTube again, although this has been going well. So as long as it's still working for me on Instagram, I think I'll continue to do it this way and post over to YouTube. So if you prefer watching me on YouTube because it's easier to do and because you have YouTube Premium or whatever, I still do post over there as I can. And I think starting next week, I'm going to do a special YouTube live in the evening, something in the evening, like maybe a little bit stony, a little bit fun. But as if every reading wasn't stony. What a good joke. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I will see you again tomorrow, and have the best day today. Take care.